Now, if you guys don't know already, no contact is literally going to be your best friend. Whenever you love someone, like someone, or maybe you feel like that person just doesn't like you enough and you kind of just have to get over them. No contact is literally going to be your best friend. And the reason I'm making this video is because I got a comment recently from, I think their name is Shrek Milker, and they basically ask, is it a bad thing to cut contacts with people you get into these type of situations with? What he's referring to is my video where I talk about liking my best friend and they actually rejected me and they completely ghost me. And basically that's kind of the dumbed down version of it, but practically they're asking if it's okay to have no contact in this scenario. How do I get over them? Basically, the best thing I could say is yes, no contact will ultimately solve your problem 75% of the time. The 25% of the time is on you. What no contact does is it basically just allows you to have space, like create a large gap between you and that person. Yeah, of course, you're going to think about them all the time after you start doing no contact, but eventually as weeks, months go past, you start to kind of forget about them and move on with your life. That's the whole point of it. Later in the comment, he actually says, I know it's good for my mental health to do that type of thing in certain situations, but sometimes whenever I see them, it just feels like everything just is ruined. Like the cycle repeats and it's super unhealthy. And that's where I say the 25% is on you comes in. And later in the comment as well, they talk about getting a hobby and how having a hobby solves some of their issues. I think the best thing to do after having no contact or just starting it, initiating it, whatever you want to say, is number one thing is find a hobby. Find some way to distract yourself from the person you were with. Now, is it going to be hard? Of course it's going to be hard, okay? You obviously put a lot of time and effort into that person. You invested money, that's a big thing, money. And you also invested your time. Time is valuable and time is money. You got to think of it that way. And yeah, you probably like them a lot or you love them. It really depends on how deep your relationship was. That love and that feeling of liking someone is never fully going to go away. You're always going to think of them in a certain light, mostly because you have memories. As human beings, we hold these things called memories. That's why we're so lucky to be what we are. Like we're actually insanely cool if you think about it. We're able to store like memories and have these types of relationships with people. Besides the fact about that, these people, they mean something to you. They mean so much to you that you have to consider doing no contact. And that means that there's an opportunity for you to reach out to them. Don't do it, okay? Don't do it. And the reason I say don't do it is because you ultimately ruin your path to healing. Like honestly, if you really want to heal from a situation like that, like mentally, the best thing you could do is don't block them. In my opinion, I'm not a type of person to block, because if I'm going about a way to block you, that means that I care too much. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of a laid back person, okay? If you did something dirty, like if you really screwed me over, the most I'm going to do is just like unfollow you and make sure your friends don't follow me. That's literally it. That's the simplest thing I could do. I don't really like blocking. So I would suggest if you need to, then block them. But if you go out of your way to go look them up in like an incognito browser or have your friends look them up for you to find out what they're doing in life, you're ruining yourself and you're ruining your opportunity to grow and heal as a person. In life, there's going to be certain people that is only going to be there for a couple months, years, weeks. You never really know. And I think that if you have to go no contact with a person, then that's what it has to be. Like you have to just find a new way to live. Yeah, that time you had with them was probably great. You probably had amazing experiences, but then you got to remember why they ended up breaking up with you or you broke up with them. There was experiences where you didn't like certain things that they did. And that is a big reason why when you're in no contact, you got to remember those things. Because if you don't remember those things and you slip back and you catch yourself trying to like peel back the covers and look on their social media or send that text like hey or happy birthday or happy New Year's, happy Christmas, things like that, you're going to slowly chip away at yourself and you're going to be in this unhealthy cycle like the commenter talked about. And yeah, they talk about also having a hobby. Having a hobby is the literal best thing you can do in no contact. I know I said it earlier in the video, but having a hobby lets you find a new version of yourself. Now, you don't have to change yourself, but you also want to be able to do something cool. And the reason I say do something cool is because when you're with someone or talking to someone, a lot of your time is being invested into them. And you don't really have enough time to invest in other things unless you guys have a healthy relationship, in my opinion. So once you're in no contact and you have the opportunity to have a ton of more time on your hands, invest that into a hobby that could make you money or make you happy. That's the two things I would say. For example, when I was in no contact with a certain person, what I did is I invested all my time into working out or doing YouTube related stuff. And that's how this channel was born. I started editing a ton around September, and that was just like making videos based around movies. And then one random night, I just said, let me just play this game called web fishing and talking about my problems in life. And that's what I did. And here we are, almost 3,000 subscribers later in 3 months. And that's solely because of you guys. You guys are amazing and just love to listen to me. So I appreciate that about you guys. So I'm making this video for some of you that feel like you're in a similar situation and you need help, like my person Shrek Milker. Surely that will get me demonetized. But yeah, I think that's my advice. Go into no contact, start being okay with yourself, and form a hobby. My hobby, of course, was video editing and video production. Your hobby could be dancing, getting into cars, learning something new, like a instrument, or learning to cook a certain dish or a certain style of food. All these things will help you in the long run. It'll give you opportunities to meet a ton of new people like I did. For example, in my case scenario, I was able to meet a ton of people by just literally going to the gym. Now, of course, your situation is going to vary. I'm not making this video to force you to go to the gym and be like, you have to go work out. But in my opinion, when I started to do my daily walks or just go to the gym because I just needed a place to go on a treadmill and try and, burn some calories, I eventually just started talking to more people because I started to seem like a regular. I was joining a community. I was joining something better for myself. Community is what all of us thrive as human beings, and that's partially why you were actually interested in the person that you're going into no contact with. Having someone or just being in a community will ultimately just make your life more fun and enjoyable. So why not just take the opportunity and find something that you enjoy? Like, for example, another thing that I like is card games. Just find something to enjoy. I used to go to locals all the time for card games, and now I don't as much because I'm doing other things in life, but there has to be something out there that you like, and you could find a community within your own home or, place that you live. And also, they will let you be happy. That's what you want to be. You want to be happy. You don't want to be all sad and mopey over someone that doesn't care about you anymore. So you have to go into no contact. So yeah, do no contact if you need this, hear someone say it, because it'll be the best thing that you do for yourself, as long as you keep that balance of 75% of doing no contact and 25% of focusing on yourself or forming a new hobby. You want to be different, okay? You don't want them to message you back, because that will just spiral you into an unhealthy cycle, like our man or women or them Shrek Milker. So have a great day or night when you're watching this, guys. Have a good one. Bye.